and welcome to the Wool and Twine Fiber Studio YouTube channel. My name is Jule and I'm the dyer and maker behind Wool and Twine Fiber Studio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany, where I play with botanical dyes and natural yarns. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you're new here, a warm welcome. I'm so happy to have you here in my little corner of the internet. Today I want to present to you a new batch of naturally dyed yarn that I have been working on over the past couple of months, I would say. And for those of you who are new here, I like to do this in video form because it's just a lot easier and a lot more true to color than just simple photos can do this. That's why I do the preview videos. And I also feel like it's a bit more personal to chat you through everything I've been working on. Speaking of what I've been working on, it has been an interesting couple of weeks because you're probably aware of this, but there have been changes to how I can ship to the US, and since a big portion of my customer base is based in the US, I had to do some adjustments to my shipping and also kind of postponed doing another yarn collection until everything was kind of sorted and organized. But I'm so happy to say that everything is fine and everything's working now. I've had some shipments arrive successfully in the US with my new system, and I'm very happy to say that everything went smoothly and there is no fuss for the customer, so that makes me very happy. More on that later. However, I wanted to have this little disclaimer out because, yeah, I didn't do a collection in August due to the slightly uncertain situation, and I kind of found it unfair to, release something for everyone else in the world and exclude anyone. So I decided to not do a collection in August, and the result of that is that I had a lot of dyeing during that time that I now postponed to this month. So the collection is massive. Let's say it that way. It's really big. But I'm also quite happy. Like today I actually spread out all the yarn on my little windowsill here that I'm sitting next to, and it was just a full rainbow, and I'm super happy with how everything turned out. So yeah, I guess without further ado, let me start jumping into the preview so you're not gonna sit here for like several hours. So as a little overview on what bases we are going to be restocking. For the September collection, there will be a restock of our Heirloom base, which will be available in two weights. So a DK weight for, I think it's 233 meters per 100 grams, and then a fingering weight version of 400 meters per 100 grams. This yarn is very special because it's fully traceable back to farm, and it's a very cool old school breed that is from the Exmoor region and lives around the mill where this yarn was spun. So it's an extra traceable and extra sustainable yarn. It is a 3-ply construction, so it's great for anything cable, texture, whatever you might think of. And as mentioned, we have it in 2 yarn weights, so whether you prefer fingering or DK weight, you can choose. So all of the colorways that I'm going to show are available in both of the weights. So far about Heirloom. I'm also going to link the base page so you can double check everything, fiber content and meterage and recommended needles and all that on my base page. Plus, we will also have a second base because, Socktober is right around the corner, so I kind of had to do another restock of our Ovis Sock, which is a fully natural, completely woolen sock yarn without any artificial fibers in it, spun to a slightly higher twist for durability, and it's been almost a classic for some years now. So yeah, so we're gonna have Heirloom 4-ply, Heirloom DK, and Ovis Sock for this collection. So I've got you sorted for any kind of Socktober or autumnal projects in general. So I hope there's going to be something for everyone. I should also say, light's going a bit bright over here. I should also say that these two bases, why I also chose them to restock them now, is that we currently have the pre-orders for our countdown calendars, the first ones I ever did. The pre-orders are up currently, and those are available in the Heirloom 4-ply and the Ovis Sock base. And I had some requests over the past couple of weeks whether, you know, I will restock these bases just in case you wanted to purchase, you know, a main color for a project or whatever to go with the countdown calendar. You're very welcome to do that. So that's why I'm restocking both of these bases as well. So you can, in case, you know, the add-on skeins that I initially thought would work with the calendar is just the undyed. And I understand that if you would like something else as a main color, that is totally fine. It's just that I was unable to provide full skeins all dyed. I mean, that would have been a logistical nightmare. However, you're welcome to purchase any kind of additional yarn from this collection now. But I have to say that it's not possible to have it shipped with the countdown calendar. The countdown calendars are currently pre-orders and they will ship early November. And all of the stock yarn that I will show you in the next couple of minutes, this has to be ordered separately. There also is like a block in the shop that you cannot purchase these together because I cannot logistically handle keeping stock yarn until early November and then shipping it with the calendars. I'm very sorry, but that would be kind of a nightmare. And I already have, I think, 4 different tiers in 2 bases just with the mini skeins, and then a sock set tier, and then also a spinning fiber one, which is currently sold out. But you know, it's going to be a lot of packing and a lot of organizing in the next couple of weeks, so I kind of had to keep it manageable for myself. So yeah, stock yarn and countdown calendars cannot be ordered together. That's just what I wanted to put out there. However, I made sure that I will have a lot of options just in case the add-on skeins that I provided with the calendar are not, you know, your favorite type of main color, or you wanted something warmer, for example, something more colorful. Totally fine. Then you can definitely get suitable yarn now. Yeah, but I guess we are at the point where I should finally start sharing the colorways with you. Before I do so, though, I wanted to mention before someone asks, this is my matcha jumper that I'm wearing currently. It's a pattern by Ines of Vednit, and it's a very, very nice shoulder construction, super nice, easy to throw over anything sweater that I really love. And I made this one out of Heirloom DK, so yeah, just in case you need some inspiration on what to make with it, yeah, the gauge works well for the matcha jumper by Vednit, just in case. I also have a few new samples that I will briefly share with you at the end of the video, although I have to mention that I think I will do a separate podcast episode soon where I will share a bit more in depth about them. Yeah, but just to give you a little bit of inspiration. And as always, I also have a full list of pattern suggestions for the, I never know where to point. Anyhow, I will list it down below and somewhere in the little eye. I will also share some pattern suggestions with you that I've curated in a little Ravelry bundle, just in case you need some inspiration on what to make with this. But now, without further ado, let me start showing you the colorways. Okay, let's go. We have a lot of colorways to go through. So I'm gonna share them with you on the Heirloom base first. And I'm going to show it on the Heirloom 4-ply for now. However, as mentioned, all of these colorways are also available in the DK weight version. So whether you prefer fingering or DK, you can choose. But I will start with the first colorway. And these two, the first 2 ones, were actually designed to be a good alternative for the countdown calendars in case you don't like the undyed gray shade. So this one is Almond. And it's a warm, soft beige, I would say. And then accompanying this one, we also have Sand. I will put it next to each other in a second, but Sand is a tiny bit less yellowy in undertone and a little bit more neutral, I would say. So here we have them side by side. So this one is almond and this one is sand. It almost looks like a slight pinkish undertone next to almond, but looking at it from, you know, in natural light, I would say it's just a relatively neutral beige. So, almond and sand. Next up we have a few purples and pinks, starting with this one, and this one is amethyst. It's a beautiful purple shade, relatively cool in undertone. But yeah, this one is amethyst. Next up we have its slightly colder brother, fog, and this one is almost a gray, but it has some purple blue undertones, if I may say so. So this is it next to amethyst, so you can see it's a lot cooler, but not really a full-on gray. Hang on, let me show you how it looks in the undyed shade. We will also restock the undyed shades, by the way. I should also mention that, but this is the undyed gray, and this is fog next to it. I hope this helps a little bit to compare them. Am I getting a little bit too bright here? So yeah, here are the two shades next to each other. Next up, we will transition more towards the slightly more pinkish colorways. And the first one I have here is called Petal, and this one is a soft but coolish kind of pink that I think is so nice and elegant. All of the colorways are again dyed on a gray base, so Heirloom is a gray base, so they all appear a little bit more muted due to that, which I really like personally. So yeah, this one is Petal. Next up we have Heather, which is its slightly more purplish companion. It's very similar. I will put them side by side. So this one is Petal, and then we have Heather next to it. Can you even see the difference? It's a bit difficult in this light, but Heather is a tiny bit more purplish in undertone, whereas Petal is a little bit more pink. Is it visible even? I hope it is. Somehow. Next up we have Hawthorn, which is a very warmish pink. It appears a bit more orangey on camera, I would say. It's more like a soft beige rose colorway, if that makes sense. I hope it's kind of visible somehow. It's not very easy to show for some reason, but maybe like this you can get an idea. It's more rosy in real life. Then next up we have Rosewood, which is also appearing a little bit more orange on camera. Well, much more orange. What is it even? Maybe in this light it looks a bit more true to color. So it's more like a, you can see it next to the brown of my sweater maybe. It's more like a rosewood kind of shade. Okay, so far about these kind of pinks. I have one more. No, we have even like way more, but you know, let's do one after the other. Next up we have this one, and it's called Coral. It also looks a little bit more orange on camera. I would say it's more pinkish coral in real life. But yeah, this is Coral, and I will do my best to hold them all up together, or at least, you know, one after the other. So first we have the pinks. So we have Hawthorn, Rosewood in the middle, and then Coral on the side. I swear these are not that orange. I hope you can understand. And then also we have the purples. So from here we have amethyst, fog, petal, and heather on this side. Alright, let's get to the next part of colorways. So this one is called mustard, and it's like a mustardy, olivey yellow, I would say. Very autumnal. Next up we have honey, which is its slightly less saturated sibling, I would say. So here you have mustard and then honey next to it, which is a bit more soft in undertone, less saturated. Then next up we have ochre, which is also a bit more muted and a little bit more brown in undertone, but I would still consider this in the kind of golden yellow category. So here is honey next to it, and then this is ochre. Next up we have this beautiful neutral brown that's called Woodlands. It's a beautiful neutral brown. Goes great with a lot of other colors, I would say. Next up we have almost a cult favorite from many years ago that I created this kind of colorway. This one is caramel. It's like a caramelly golden brown, I would say. Here are they next to each other, so woodlands and caramel. Next up we have terracotta, which is this beautiful rusty reddish brown. And similar to this one we have pumpkin, which is slightly more orange and even more rusty than the other one. So next to each other. They are very similar though. So this one is terracotta, and then this one is pumpkin. Pumpkin is just a slight bit more red in undertone, if you can see that. So here we have terracotta and then pumpkin. Let me also try to hold them up next to each other, at least some of them. So here we have woodlands, caramel, terracotta, and pumpkin. And then also the three more yellowish ones, mustard, honey, and ochre. Mustard, honey, and ochre. Is it visible even? Just trying very hard to hold them all up so you can see them well. Next up, which category am I going to continue with? I say we're gonna go with the more greenish tones. So this one is called Willow, and this one is more of like a light beigey green, very soft green. It's more beige than green, I would say, almost. Next up we have Sea Glass, which is almost bluish green, I would say. I love this one. It's very muted bluish green, I would say. So next up we have a similar shade. This one is called Thyme, and it's a bit more greenish than Sea Glass, not as bluish. Maybe you can see it here. It's very similar, but a little bit less blue. So this one is Sea Glass, and then the other one is Thyme. And then last but not least, this is almost screaming festive season already. This one is Pine, and it's a dark olivey green. More earthy in undertone than the other ones that are slightly more bluish. Let me try to hold them all up together. So we have Willow, Sea Glass, Thyme, and Pine. I hope that was somewhat helpful. So these are the greenish shades that we have. And last but not least, let me get to like the more saturated, deep reddish tones. So this one is almost a classic by now. It's called Oxalis, and it's a deep reddish undertoned brown burgundy, I would say. Next up we have its slightly darker sibling Cabernet, which I absolutely love. I'm having a hard time not keeping some for myself, to be very honest. But this one is Cabernet. Next up we have Aubergine, which is a deep, even deeper reddish tone, burgundy type. And lastly we have Grape, which is more purple in undertone than the other ones, but still falls kind of into the burgundy category, I would say. So yeah, this one is Grape. Let me put them all up together because I think it's a bit hard to see the differences. But yeah, from here we have Oxalis, Cabernet, Aubergine and Grape, if that's helpful at all. Yeah, maybe like this. Yay! So these were all the colorways on Heirloom. I know it's a lot. I don't know. I got a bit carried away, and I also, you know, because I didn't do an update in August, I had a little bit more capacities. So yeah, so far about those. Let me jump right into the next section. Quickly, before I get to the section where I show you everything that we've made in Ovis over the past weeks, I wanted to share some examples of what you can do with Heirloom. As promised, there will be longer discussions about these patterns in an upcoming episode that I plan to record very soon, but I still wanted to share them with you because we have so many color variations for this collection, so I thought I'd still show them to you here. So this one is my daisy chain scarf by Annabelle Williams, which is a beautiful new pattern that by the time this video goes up should just be live in Annabelle's Ravelry shop. So I will link it down below, but it features this very delicate lace detail. And I was a test knitter for this one and it was so much fun to make. I can definitely tell that this is very, very fun to do. So yeah, I will make sure to also link my Ravelry project down below as soon as I have all the photos taken and all that stuff. But yeah, this was my daisy chain scarf, and it does not even take one whole skein of Heirloom 4-ply, so it's made in Heirloom 4-ply and you don't even need one skein. So I always try to find options and patterns for you where you can you know, because it's a bit difficult to predict sometimes how much yarn you might need, and if you end up with a leftover skein, I like to provide you with some ideas on what you can do with it. And this one, I guess, is just a perfect transitional small kind of scarf project that you can execute with just one skein of Heirloom 4-ply. So I guess it's a really great opportunity to use up yarn that you might have left over. I will share my exact meterage in the Ravelry project down below, so you can reference it. But I still had quite a bit left over from the skein, so there should be some, like you don't even need the full 100 gram skein. And it's quite generously sized, so yeah. So far about my daisy chain scarf. I'm sorry for the lighting being a bit off today. We are having a bit of a storm and it's kind of raining, clearing up again, raining, clearing up. So yeah, we just work with it. Next up I have another project in Heirloom 4-ply that I just pulled off the blocking mat, like literally today. And this one is my first sweater by Rebecca of the Crayer Bayer, and it's a super cool drop shoulder construction with this super nice side detail. I don't know if you can see, but it's just a very nice detail, I would say, and has the same type of ribbing on the cuffs. And yeah, this one is made in Heirloom 4-ply as well, but it also works in Heirloom DK because this pattern actually comes in 2 different yarn weights, so you can choose whatever you might prefer. And I went for the fingering weight version, so it's a very nice and lightweight transition jumper, but you can also use a DK weight version, whatever you might prefer. It's definitely very fun to knit, especially these very nice details over here. I will make sure to talk more about this in the future episode as well, but just in case you need some inspo, the Firth by Rebecca of the Crea Bayer is a really good option to make. Last but not least, I have another sample in this yarn. This one was also a test knit for Laura of Sunday Morning Knits, and I am not 100% sure right now on when this pattern is going to release, but as soon as I know I will post it down below. But it's a very fun, also very versatile pattern. This one is the Petra scarf, and this one is made in Heirloom DK in the undyed shade, which we will also be restocking. But yeah, this has this fun texture that's still very easy and mindless to knit. This one has been done for a while, by the way. I just managed to block it like after weeks of it being done. But yeah, it's the Petra scarf and it's made in Heirloom DK. However, this pattern also can be done in a fingering weight version because it's a modular, not modular, how is it called? Recipe pattern, where you can actually just, you know, knit with however many stitches, not stitches, whatever yarn weight you might want to use, you can choose, and then you just knit to the midpoint and then start decreasing again. So you can also do it in a lot of different sizes, so also great if you just have leftovers from a project. Yeah, but this one is also done in Heirloom, just to give you a little bit of inspiration. And as mentioned, I'm gonna check you through everything more in depth very soon, if I manage to do some more podcast recording. Time is a bit short right now. I'm sorry that I'm a bit absent sometimes with the podcast at the moment, but yeah, I guess for the next section I will start showing you some colorways on Ovis Sock. About the Ovis colorways, again I tried to offer an alternative for the countdown calendars in case you wanted something more warm but still neutral as a main color for a project. So we also have these two colorways as we did on the Heirloom base. So this one is almond, and then this one is sand. It's slightly more lighter sibling. So almond is a bit more warmish in undertone and sand is a bit more neutral, just in case you needed some more inspiration, or another neutral base for some color work or whatever you might want to do with it. Next up, we will transition into the more yellowy and greenish shades. This one is called Olive, and it's just a bright olivey green, or like greenish yellow, however you might. I know a lot of people fight over whether these kind of tones are like green or yellow. However, this one is Olive. Next up, we have its slightly less saturated sibling called Wheatgrass, and this is next to Olive. It's just a little bit less punchy than Olive. Slightly desaturated version of it, I would say. So that one is Wheatgrass. Next up we have Mint, which is a nice minty, coolish green, I would say. Dyed on a grey base as well, so it appears even cooler, I would say. So that's Mint. Next up I have a few more slightly earthier shades. This one is called Cinnamon, and it's a very nice, warm, cozy brown. I love this one, to be honest. It reminds me of, I don't know, spicy, warm drinks in the autumn season. So that one's Cinnamon. Speaking of more hot drinks inspired colorways, this one is Espresso. It's a dark chocolatey kind of brown. And since we are coffee lovers in this household, I thought it's fitting to call it espresso. And then next up we have Pumpkin Patch, which is close to our colorway Pumpkin, but it's a little bit more orange and punchy, less rusty in undertone. So, but it's, you know, I kind of wanted to do at least one Halloween inspired colorway. I'm not a huge Halloween person, to be honest, because, you know, it's not really a big deal here where I am. But yeah, I know a lot of people love Halloween, so I thought I would include a slightly more Halloween-y color. So that one's Pumpkin Patch. Very nice and bright orange. Well, we're having some trouble with the light. Wow. Anyhow, here are they next to each other. So we have cinnamon and espresso and pumpkin patch. Very nice and autumnal, I would say. These are screaming autumn to me. So next up, let's do the slightly more rosy and reddish undertoned shades. This one is again Hawthorn, like we already had it on the Heirloom base. It is a bit more pinkish in real life, but it's a warm pink tone, I would say. So that one's Hawthorn. Next up we have our classic Dahlia, which is a pinkish undertoned rusty red, which is also very nice and autumnal, I feel. So this one's Dahlia. Next up we have Amethyst on Ovis Sock as well. Next up we also have Grape on Ovis Sock, which is so rich and deep on this base. I can't believe it. It's so nice. Can you see it kind of glowing from within? Oh, I really, really like it. So this one is Grape. Then we have Oxalis, which also is kind of a classic by now. It's a deep burgundy type reddish shade, I would say. And last but not least, also almost a classic, Auburn, which is a nice, more chocolatey brown kind of burgundy shade. Yeah, this one shows it well. It's very deep and very dark. And very lovely, I think. I just love how this batch turned out. Let me try and show them side by side. Look, can I put all of them? Let me try. It's ambitious. So here we go. Left to right, or right to left, depending on where you're looking from. So this side, it's Hawthorn, then we have Dahlia, then we have Oxalis, then we have Amethyst, Grape, and Auburn over here. I'm in love with these kind of shades. Can you tell that I was really autumn inspired? And yeah, I guess that is everything. I'm so happy with this collection. It already makes me feel like autumn, and it's my absolute favorite season, like I guess with many of us. But I literally go crazy about autumn, and I just get so happy about it whenever it gets cold outside. And we're currently having a very rainy week. However, we have one more heat wave to face this weekend. So it's supposed to be one more weekend of like 26 degrees, but then Celsius. But then it should be very autumnal after that. So I'm quite excited. All right, let me get to the little admin section of everything. So when will all of this be available? So the September collection and everything that I just showed to you will be launching on the 26th of September at 8 p.m. CET, which is my local time zone. And yeah, everything will be live in the shop at 8 p.m. as per usual. And also, as per usual, if you're eyeing a certain colorway, it's always recommended to be on time for the update, because I never know which colorways will do well or who's interested in what. So yeah, it's always advisable to check in on time for the update. And yeah, I will ship everything ASAP afterwards, because I will be away for a couple of days early October, from the 2nd to the 6th, I believe. I will definitely write it down in the newsletter again, so you're informed about when I'll be away, because I will not be able to ship during that time. So all orders coming in over the weekend will be shipped before I'll leave. I will make sure that I will start shipping on the weekend already, so we will have everything packed and picked up before I leave. And it's just a 4-day break, so I'm going to be back the week after. However, yeah, if you need to make adjustments to your order, or you want to place a second order, or would like me to combine your orders or anything, please make sure that you do so until Sunday afternoon, my time zone. It's fine if you need to adjust something, like add a skein or two, or place a second order, or have me combine them. But I will need you to please email me about it, so I can actually execute your wish. So yeah, it's possible to have orders combined. However, that does not count for the countdown calendars, as mentioned. There still are a handful of countdown calendars available. Not many though, especially the Heirloom base is down to the last 4 or 5, I guess, per tier. So if you're eyeing the countdown calendars, it's better to order them now, because you cannot combine it with the September collection order anyways. They need to be ordered separately. And yeah, other than that, if you have any questions about, you know, a project that you have in mind that you want in it, or you know, double check amounts with me or anything, always feel free to do so and email me at hello@woolentwine.com. I'll also put that down below. You can always reach me there, and it's the easiest for me to reply to emails instead of Instagram DMs or YouTube comments. So if you want to make it easy for me, please email me and I'll help you gladly. I always say this in my preview episodes, but I'd rather have you double check the amounts with me and, you know, spend the time to prepare you before purchasing as well as I can, rather than, you know, you running into issues afterwards and, you know, running short on yarn or anything, because I will most certainly not be able to provide you with additional skeins. So it's always advisable to double check the amounts of yarn you need for a certain project. And yeah, I'm always there to help and double check if you would like me to also assist you with that. And the last point now goes out to my beloved US customers, because I'm so happy to say that I am able to ship to the US still, despite the new tariffs. And I'm also collecting the duties and import tax that applies to shipments from Europe, so mine, because I'm based in Europe. You can pay those import taxes and everything at checkout, and it arrives at your doorstep without any fussing with customs or anything. So I will take care of making your labels in a way that the taxes and import duties are included in the label and they are prepaid, so you don't have to worry about, you know, additional fees or anything when the parcel arrives. So it's all very transparent. You can see what exactly the costs are of the duties. It's roughly 15% because it's 15%, and then I think it's a small handling fee of like $2 depending on parcel weight, blah, blah, blah. But if you calculate with roughly 15%, that's pretty much it. And you can also, if you're unsure about something, I will happily help you check how the duties are beforehand for you. Yeah, but that's how it is. Economy shipping, unfortunately, had to be paused until further notice, because those shipments were going through the postal network, and the postal services all over Europe have actually stopped shipping to the US because there is no opportunity to actually process all of these small postal orders in customs. So at least that's what they're telling me. So we have to use our carrier UPS, which is they were very well prepared already when the whole shift happened. And I have also made very great experiences with them. So even with the more like economy standard shipping, everything so far arrived within a week. So yeah, I guess that's quite good. And as said, you don't have to worry about anything. I'll take care of everything. So you just need to, you can see exactly the amount you need to pay, and there is nothing to expect afterwards. So I will take care of all the prepayment of the import duties and, you know, make sure that everything's labeled correctly and everything's gonna just land at your doorstep as conveniently as possible. But yeah, I guess that is everything about the collection. I'm super, super excited about this one. I hope you are too. And yeah, let me know if you have any plans for Socktober, by the way. I never get to be in time to make plans for this because for some reason the start of the season just rolls around and then I'm always unprepared for Socktober. So I'm curious to hear if you have any plans. Let me know. And until then, I guess I will leave you here. Hope you love the collection as much as I do. Feel free to email me if you have any further questions. And until then, I guess I'm wishing you some wonderful autumnal days if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and happy knitting. Bye!